you ever caught yourself saying one of these?
I already exercise, so that offsets it, right?
But I ate perfectly for the last 2 days, that's fine.
Or you had a hard day at work, so you think you need this.
Let's talk about emotional eating and self-sabotage. This is Mind Over Body, episode 3. Now I have created free worksheets that you can download to follow along with this video and really figure out what it is that is causing you to self-sabotage your fitness journey. If you'd like to grab a copy, head over to my blog, which is www.eatrunlift.me, put in your name and email address, and I will send you out an email with the download link. If you're already on the mailing list, check your inbox because there's probably something in there for you. Alright, so let's talk about letting our emotions control our eating habits. There's usually a familiar pattern, right?
You've got a good pattern going for a while, you might have lost some weight or gained some muscle or whatever it is that you're trying to do. But then the old habits come creeping their way back in.
Now, you know exactly what you need to do to make things work, but for some reason, it's just not happening, like it's not clicking for you.
As long as you can show me a good time, I don't care.
See, it's easy to jump from one thing to another looking for a magic solution. But the truth is, consistency is going to be the biggest key here, and you need to learn to change your relationship with food.
There's a big difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. I can't count how many times I've heard from people that they're too scared to start something. But in reality, it doesn't really matter what diet you're on, what training program you're doing, how many things you've tried this year, or who you've hired to coach you. If part of you doesn't want to succeed, you won't.
Okay, now I want to ask you some questions. You can simply think to yourself, yes or no.
If you answered yes to any of these and you're currently on a fitness journey, which I'm going to assume you are if you're watching this video, there may be something inside of you that's just holding you back.
Now, there's a big difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger, and you might be familiar with them. So emotional hunger comes on fast. It craves specific foods, specific textures. With this kind of meal, you normally can't identify too well when you're full, and you normally regret it afterward. Emotional eating usually sets on as a reaction to something, and it will provide you with some momentary satisfaction. Essentially, it's your body's way of trying to tell you that something's up. It also lifts the pressure that you have pressing down on you to eat, perform, or act a certain way by saying, screw it, I'll just start again on Monday. Physical hunger, on the other hand, creeps on slowly, allows you to feel full as you eat, and doesn't lead to that feeling of regret afterwards. Do you remember how in episode 2 we talked about how a
Cue leads to action, which leads to a reward.
Well, guess what? That is what is happening here too. So it's time to figure out what the triggers are that are causing you to emotionally eat or self-sabotage as a response. The next time you're feeling like, oh, I just want to go and grab like a whole block of chocolate, before you actually carry through with that action, I want you to stop and do 2 tiny things.
Firstly, we're going to stop. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes to actually think about what you're going to do. In the meantime, you can make yourself a cup of tea, grab a drink of water, something to hydrate yourself just in case you are actually thirsty as well. Then you're going to take the action of using your new game plan that you're going to design for yourself, depending on what emotion you feel. So you are going to have to come up with some things that suit your lifestyle. So you might be wondering then, what are the steps that we take here to work on solving this?
Learn what it is that's causing this emotional eating response from you and figure out a game plan.
Here's a little exercise that I've been getting some of my online coaching clients to do. If they feel like they want to go and eat as a response to something, they need to add to this little list saying where they are, who they're with, and why they feel that way.
Okay, so we briefly touched on this in episode 2, but here are some examples. If you're feeling lonely, call a friend or organize to hang out with someone. Get that real life connection. Don't just send someone a text or a Facebook message. Get that real face-to-face interaction.
If you're feeling anxious about something, maybe try taking a walk. Even if it's just a short one, somewhere out of the office or out of your workspace where you can calm down and listen to your favorite music. If it's just because you're bored, find a book, make something, learn a new hobby, or just get out of the house and do something that you enjoy.
Now, it's important that you care for yourself and care for your enjoyment. Don't judge the irony in this and the fact that there's chicken and broccoli sitting on my plate, but being healthy doesn't have to be all chicken, broccoli, and rice. Give yourself the sense of satisfaction and enjoyment that you need in other areas of your life, so you don't turn to food just for the feeling. Your brain will start to connect it as a feel-good thing, and every now and again, that's not gonna hurt your progress, but if you're doing this regularly and sabotaging yourself when it comes to your food or your training or anything like that, it will start to impact your results. So what we need to do is find something to place there instead to get that same sense of reward and satisfaction rather than food.
Take note of how you feel. Process your emotions, don't just eat them down. You can't ignore your problems forever. And I don't think I'll ever forget something that one of my incredible clients, Maxie, told me. She said, I realized that by emotionally eating, I was creating 2 problems for myself instead of having just one. Find a way to give yourself a small slice of time each day just to focus on yourself. Don't let yourself get to the point where you're feeling deprived. Some foods are daily foods and they should be consumed regularly. And some foods are what I would call sometimes foods, and you want to put them in intermittently so that you're not feeling so stuck and like you're doing the same repetitive thing. It gives you a little bit of freedom and room to move.
Unless there's a medical reason that you can't eat something, blacklisting foods or an entire food group is going to lead to you feeling restricted. When you feel restricted, you're not likely to stick to something. That's not a long-term plan.
Ditch the secret behavior and pay attention. Eat the sometimes foods with other people if you really want to have them.
This will help deconstruct the mentality that they're bad. And this way you can stop having secret stashes in, like, I don't know, your bedroom, a cupboard, something where people don't see it, and you can stop those sneaky eating sessions when no one's around. It's about learning to be more mindful about what you're eating. Put your phone down. You know what? If you're gonna Insta story a meal, do it and then put your phone down. Don't eat while you're watching television. Be mindful about the meal that you have in front of you.
Alright, so let's recap. The first step is to make sure that you identify what has been going on and how you are feeling. Then you need to stop and take a second for yourself, figure out where you are, who you're with, and why you feel this way. Take steps towards working on and executing your new plan. Remember to listen to how you feel. Don't set yourself up on a plan for deprivation and pay attention to what you're eating.
Don't forget, you can grab a copy of that worksheet by joining my free newsletter, and you can use this worksheet to figure out what is causing your emotional eating. Because I feel like you can't have a successful fitness journey without the mindset element. You can have food and training, but if you're not in the right mindset, those other 2 aren't likely to go very far. I hope you're doing well, and if you made it this far through the video and you are not subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next video in this Mind Over Body series. I'll catch you next time. Bye!